There we go.
There we go. And we're live. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. This is the not straightforward edition on Mondays with myself, Lawrence Winnerman, and the amazing Aidan Wharton.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy last day of March. Happy second to last day, penultimate day of March.
Oh, very nice. I like the use of the SAT word. Very
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I learned that from
excellent.
a book
Yes,
series in high school called it was a Pendragon series. So it was penultimate Pendragon. And I've never forgotten that.
I mean, how could you, right?
I know. I know.
I once in college embarrassed myself because I pronounced it penultimate and said, like
Mm,
five. And the
mm-hmm.
professor was kind of like, no.
Penultimate. I
Yeah,
mean, hey, somebody said never judge someone for mispronouncing a word that they have only learned through reading. And I
exactly.
think that is, I think that's a good way to think about it. Although I
Yeah.
did have a friend once, like 2 years ago, we got in a fight about the word detritus. Although now I'm like, wait, that's how you say it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it's detrius. And I was like, it's assertively not because there is an extra T in there that you are
Right.
leaving out.
Right. Detrius is the guy that you hooked up with last weekend.
Detrius,
Detritus
which honestly, great
is the
name.
shit laying around after.
Hmm. Good morning, everyone. Good morning,
Good
Karen. Good morning,
morning.
Ted. Good morning, BJ. Vance. Look at all these people.
So many people joining us. We are really lucky to be able to do this.
I
I want to
know.
know, Aiden, how was your weekend? And
Hmm.
specifically, did you guys have a chance to go to a No Kings rally?
So we did not because we had a baby shower all day Saturday.
Oh, wow.
I know. I know. I really wanted to, but New York really turned it out. Yeah,
I saw pictures.
Casey's best friend from high school is having a baby, and so we were very involved in the
Showering of
planning
said
set of
baby.
showering of love.
Yes.
Did you?
I did. I did. So Fort
Okay.
Wayne, Indiana, really turned out as well. It was a bigger crowd than the last three or four
Hmm.
times.
I think this
Yeah,
is the biggest one yet, right?
it was
Across the
definitely the
country?
biggest one here.
Yeah,
Much more like a festival this time, like lots of booths
sure.
and stuff set up. So in previous times, it's like one big block in downtown in front of the
Hmm.
courthouse. Uh, and it was three pretty full blocks this time, so
Wow.
definitely much bigger. Just a great vibe, really like
Yeah.
joyful, peaceful vibe. Lots of cars driving by and honking. I assume for the
Hmm.
good. Uh, and a beautiful sunny day, right? Like sunny
Yeah.
and kind of 50 degrees, so not super
Mm.
warm, but really just a nice day to do it.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
It is. It went back down into winter here.
Yeah, we've dipped our toe back into winter a couple of times, and
Hmm.
it is
Hmm.
I'm over it. I'm super over.
Yeah. I will say though, then yesterday, I think you'll enjoy this. We did see Project Hail Mary for my friend's birthday.
Oh my gosh. What did you think?
Have you seen it yet?
I have. I actually took
Okay.
myself to go see it this weekend as well, and I
Hmm.
fucking loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was the broiest sci-fi movie I think I've ever seen, but I
Right.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Um,
really was almost
yeah.
like a meditation on male friendship, male bonding and
Hmm.
friendship.
Hmm. What a good way to segue into our topic
I was
today.
gonna say it's not like
That
we
was so
even planned
fast.
that, or
It
maybe you
wasn't.
did. I don't know. You're a genius at these kinds of things, but like that, yes, that is a good segue because today we're talking about friendship in the queer
Yeah.
community and body image and how all those things get mixed up together and play a part.
Yeah.
Um, First, tell me a little bit more about your overall impressions of Project Hail Mary.
I really enjoyed it. I think if I were to look at it with a critical lens, I couldn't not compare it to Arrival, which I think
Yeah,
it's is in terms of like how we communicate with other species and aliens. Like I think Arrival did it much better. And so this to me, having read the book as well, I was like, oh, they took it and made it like a fun lighthearted Hollywood. Oh my God. Hi.
That's Tycho saying
Hi,
hi.
Tycho.
He's being a big flirt.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I did spend Friday night with my friend or at my friend's place who has cats, and his cat is in love with me. So maybe I just attract cats.
I think so. I
The
think
irony is present. Um, but I like, yeah, I think I left feeling Arrival is one of my like top favorite movies of all time. So I
same.
will unfairly hold it to that standard where I think they glossed over part of the communication that I really loved about the book. Like the book really takes you through
Yeah.
how he has to figure out how to talk to this extraterrestrial being.
Yeah.
And in the movie, they were like, he gets the sounds and he puts it into the computer, and now they can talk and it's funny, which
Right.
is what I think audiences want these days. So I have no qualms about that. But that
I
would have been my one thing.
absolutely understand. I totally take your point. I also think Arrival was an amazing movie.
Oh,
And the story that it's based on, by Ted Chiang, this is the story of your life. Oh my God. Like that story destroyed me when I read it.
yeah.
And then when I realized they were turning it into a movie, it was one of those like, I'm not sure they can make this into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to go see the movie and, was absolutely like
I mean,
heartbroken,
it's, yeah.
enraptured, everything. Yeah, it's magnificent.
I
Um,
watch it every time I need to be reminded of the beauty of life
yeah, yeah.
and necessity of pain.
And right. And like I loved them and I'm glad that I loved them even though I know it has to end. Like it
Mm-hmm.
encapsulates that so well. I actually saw the movie with my my first ex-husband as we were
Okay.
going through our divorce, and it was just one of those like,
Oh,
oh my God, like we're watching elements of our relationship play out on the screen, and it's
mm.
painful and uncomfortable, and we're sitting here next to each other, but it's also sort of beautiful, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was intense. Uh,
Have you seen the Watchmen HBO show?
yes,
They also, I think, did that really beautifully. Those
yep,
two, that movie and that show, I think, really explore that concept in a way that I have never been able to forget.
yeah, yeah, and I keep comparing Project Hail Mary to Contact, because
Mm.
this is. Have you seen Contact?
So a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it. I think it probably came out when you were incredibly young, and so I'm not sure that you
Mhm.
wouldn't have seen it in
Came
a
out
theater or anything.
in 99. I don't know why
Uh,
that's sticking in my head.
yeah, I think that's right. Actually, I think it was just turn of the century, basically.
I was
Nice.
four. Also, wait, I'm gonna pot. I'm gonna leave you to vamp for 10 seconds. I need to get a different chair because this one keeps hitting my hat. So it's a vamp.
Yeah, no, I don't know how to vamp. I'm innocent. What are you talking about? I can't do that.
Okay, I'm back. You nailed it.
Excellent. Thank God.
Oh,
Yeah, so
much better.
Contact for me was like a big deal movie, because like it kind of changed the way that I saw the world and the universe, and
Yeah.
spoke to kind of the human experience and being a part of something big and amazing and magnificent, and also feeling insignificant and like the tiniest fraction of it at the same time.
Hmm.
So
Which I
loved it.
think is what like good science fiction should do. That's what Three Body
Absolutely.
Problem did for me in a way that had like a surprising philosophical effect.
Tell me about that.
I just the way that they explore the end of time and just how futile trying to assert permanence is, because no matter what, in a million years, in 2 million years, in a billion years, nothing matters.
Right.
Nothing that we try to do to escape death, to create our immortality, all of this like very human condition, nothing matters. And I think that nihilism can either be really debilitating or really optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit I often I find it very debilitating. Uh,
Hmm.
like there is a piece of me that is liberated by that, and there's also a
Right.
piece of me that looks at sort of looks at that truth and finds a certain hopelessness in it that's hard for me
Yeah.
to escape, you know?
Sure.
Because I feel like the theme of my life, at least, is meaning. Like, I want
Hmm.
the meaning. I want to understand. I want to know why and who and what
Right.
and how and why are we doing this and why am I repeating these patterns and how do I make my mark on the world? Like, that's what I want.
Have you, not to just like keep throwing things that have you watched the Banshees of Inisherin?
I have not.
Okay, that's Colin Farrell and oh, I'm forgetting his name. Dominic. He played Mad Eye Moody in the fourth Harry Potter.
Okay.
Um, but it's a brilliant, brilliant film. It's by Martin McDonagh, who is a really acclaimed Irish playwright and director. And the concept is these two best friends. One day, I'm gonna Google his name really quickly because it's gonna kill me. Banshees of Inisherin came out in 2022. Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson. Um,
Oh, right. Okay.
they're two like Irish pub friends, and one day Brendan Gleeson decides he doesn't want to be friends with Colin Farrell anymore. And
Hmm.
through that premise, the whole film is a meditation on whether or not it is better to enjoy your life in the present or sort of suffer in the name of greatness in perpetuity.
Ooh.
And I'm going to leave it there. But the chat, if you haven't seen it, it's a hard watch. It's really funny. It's a brutal dark comedy, and it's great. It's so good.
Okay, that is an amazing hook. Like, now I have
Great.
to go watch it.
Yeah.
Perfect setup. Um, wow. Okay. So this is probably pretty appropriate, right? Like, we had big
Hmm.
topics planned to talk about today. And stuff that I think can get pretty deep. But I think part of what we had talked about beforehand was talking about friendship and gay male friendship and
Yeah.
talking about body and body image and the connection between those things
Hmm.
because, we're gay men and those things are connected,
Yeah.
friends
What
and
I think.
hotness
Oh.
and
Hmm.
no, go
I
ahead.
think the way, because for the chat and for the listeners and the viewers, we had been brainstorming some ideas, and those to me felt like the closest that had a through line, because a lot of what I have been dealing with recently and a lot of questions that I've been getting asked recently from folks on socials or on the podcast is like why friendships feel different now, what our friendships are sort of turning into. We're losing a lot of the ways in which we either built friendships or sustained friendships. And for a lot of, I will make it like the gay folks in New York, but I think it's a pretty central theme. Like I wrote about it 2 weeks ago. I had a guest writer write about it last week. Like this this idea of gay friendship, and then this idea of like the gay gaggle, which
Hmm.
is how Mike DeSocio, who wrote my guest piece last week, describes it. And he moved to Milan 6 months ago by himself, didn't really know the language, and was like, I have to build a friendship circle. And he did pretty impressively. But it touches on this theme of loneliness that I think is so prevalent. Like it's been
Hmm.
prevalent for the past decade and just getting worse. And we're not really understanding like what to do about it and how to show up for people in a way that will actually alleviate it.
Yeah.
So that is where, oh, and then to tie it all in is like we are very like homogenous creatures, and we like attracts like. I'm really trying to clock how many times I say like, but I did need to say it in that moment.
Yeah, no, you did.
Um, like attracts like, and so when you think about body image and when you think about friendship, there's that other valid criticism that is, oh, look at this picture of a bunch of white gays with six packs on Fire Island or Palm Springs or PV or P Town. All the names start with P. And
Oh my God,
why
mine
isn't
too.
there the acceptance or the inclusion? And why do we attract people who just look the same as us, which
Right.
to me ties into body
Well,
image
yeah,
pretty directly.
it's a great point, and it is a big piece of this because we tend to be incredible self-sorters, right? Like,
Right.
the bears hang with the bears, and the circuit guys hang with the circuit guys, and
Hmm.
et cetera, on down the line. Um, yeah, so it makes me think about the feelings of community and kind of authentic connection, right? And
Right.
um, kind of one of some of the questions that we workshop were like, when was the last time you felt authentic community and connection, and where do you feel that? And has it
Hmm.
changed over the course of time for you?
I find myself pretty lucky in that I feel it pretty often because I've put a remarkable amount of effort into maintaining that and building and maintaining that. I've always been a person who's really focused on making sure that I have a strong community, especially when I get into a relationship, So when Casey and I started dating, I told him pretty clearly that my friends were a really important priority and that I wasn't going to be a person to lose myself in the relationship, which also sort of explains probably why I'm primed for non monogamy as well.
Right.
And yet I still find moments of loneliness. I think I'm in a period where my friendships are shifting a little bit as I, enter my 30s and am deviating a bit from theater and into this podcast writing sort of gay persona. I don't know how to qualify it.
Right, right. I just keep referring to you as like the next Dan Savage, because that
Which I hope
encapsulates
so.
everything. Yeah.
He does follow me, but he won't respond to my DMs, so we'll get there eventually.
I do actually
Um,
know him, kind of
oh, okay.
tangentially.
Dan, one day.
Right.
Um, but so I think, yeah, I think I have it pretty frequently, but I have it because I've put in a lot of hard work
Hmm.
and I make sure that I really show up for my people when they need it and as often as I can.
So tell me this: when was the last time you actually felt community, though? Like, tell me the moment, the experience you were having.
Yesterday, my friend
Nice.
Asher had his birthday party or his birthday, which we went to Jacob's Pickles, which is an incredible little restaurant here. Actually, it's huge now. They just moved. And then we all went to see Project Hail Mary. And it was like a group of 10 people, all of whom I'd known. Some I went to college with, some are new gay friends, some are, well, not super new. But just that feeling of, a bunch of gays at brunch
Right.
and girls, there were girls, and then going to see a movie and having that experience. Small community, but I also think larger community. Whenever I'm in primarily gay spaces is when I really feel that tangential community where it's not that I know everyone, but I feel relaxed. It's why I enjoy Hell's Kitchen, not for the going out, but just because I can look out the window and see a bunch of gay couples holding hands.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, being in Fort Wayne for the last 2 years has definitely
Hmm.
been sort of a wake up to, oh my God, gay community experiences of gay community is really intentionally built because
Right.
it doesn't just happen, especially in a town of this size.
Hmm.
Um, I would agree with pretty much everything that you said. That feeling of being with your posse, right, your gaggle,
Yeah.
and then being in a larger queer space is very comforting and very necessary. And so, you know, um, for me, I'd say probably the last time I felt it was before I left LA, kind of hanging
Okay.
out with a group of friends um, at a festival. Right, there was like a little
Yeah.
street festival, not a big market days or Pride or anything like that, but a queer space, and yeah, like that experience of there are plenty of gay men to look at. We're all having fun cruising and checking people out. Like we're
Hmm.
also just relaxing and being ourselves and holding hands or hugging or kissing or whatever, feels comfortable and right.
Right.
And um, yeah, I would say honestly, probably my first experiences are the same.
Yeah.
Like when I first moved to Seattle back in the early 90s and had that moment of like actually going to a pride parade, right? Or actually going to a
Oh,
gay bar and feeling sort of like, oh my God. The thing that stands out to me the most is the first time I went to Pride, not the parade itself, but the, party thing afterwards.
yeah.
The bars are open and there's like the big festival out on the lawn and you're just roaming around and it's like,
Hmm.
it's that magical day when all of the hidden gays come out and present themselves in the sunshine.
Yep.
And you're just like, where are you? What bar do I have to go to? You know?
Oh, wow. That I feel that so viscerally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it,
And I'll also just like add really quickly that I have also felt community in groups of 2 and 3. Like,
for
community
sure.
doesn't have to mean a huge group, and I think a lot of people that I talk to, especially, like, in the DMs on Instagram, have a lot of trouble because they also live in rural spaces, and they're like, "Well, how am I supposed to find community in that way?" And, when I was on tour, it was a really small group of people who I was with day in, day out, and I found, like, the 2 gays, and I mean, there were more gays, but the 2 of them and I became really close, and, it in those moments when we would just, like, sit around in the hotel room watching Drag Race or having a cheese board, I was like, "I feel deep, deep community here as
Or both,
well,"
having a cheese board while watching Drag Race.
with a huge bottle of rosé, and I'm like,
Yeah.
those were the moments. Those are the moments that I treasure the most, and when I felt yeah, I define community as when I feel, like, completely not aware of the situation.
Hmm.
I'm not checking. No. Yes. Oh, I want a cat so bad.
Yeah. My cat has just destroyed destroyed my office and she's not done.
No.
She has the evil gleam in her
No.
eye.
So fun. Yeah, so
Sorry,
I think
keep
like
going.
it's no, that was it. It just like again to sort of validate the breadth of experiences. To me, community is just where I stop analyzing the situation.
Yeah.
I can be in a huge group of gays, but just feel unsettled or feel like I'm on or feel like I'm trying to navigate the social dynamics. And to me, that is not quite community.
Got it. Okay. I
Yeah.
really I vibe with that. So for you, community is when like all pretense is dropped, all you're
Mhm.
just completely comfortable in your skin, existing, having a moment, sort of being your most authentic self.
Right.
Is that
Well, and, like, yeah, it actually has really presented a lot recently now that I'm going to more like of these like gay whatever experiences versus like theater events. I have so much more in common with these people now. And I'm like, oh, this is how it was supposed to feel in theater. And it felt for everyone else in theater. And I was always like, this isn't like quite my speed.
right?
Now I found it and I'm not doing that sort of analysis.
Yeah. And okay, just to clarify on that, and that's
Mhm.
because oh my god, they're absolutely going crazy back here.
I'm obsessed. They're like, you guys, you need another guest.
Right, right. Would you like us to be on screen? Um so for you what you're saying is the theater experience you had originally wasn't
Mhm.
as comfortable as it could be because you were in predominantly a straight space, right? Or
It wasn't that it was predominantly straight. It's just that I never felt entirely at home.
hmm
And I felt bad or felt like something was wrong with me because I felt like I should. And
yeah,
I think that's something a lot of people, I felt that in high school too. And then I found my theater group of friends, which is where I felt home. But as I sort of progressed through my theater experience, that changed.
yeah. Would you
And now
say
that I can have a, large tangential community that is built around gay culture and is built around sort of this same trying to bring nuance to gay conversations and sort of like this like gay intellectual sounds like a little too heady and a little too exclusive, but this group of gay writers and podcasters and creatives in that way.
yeah. Would you say that you can be truly comfortable in mixed spaces? with straight people?
Yes, but
Right. Right. I think that would be my answer too, right?
yeah. It's so funny when actually I don't know if this story makes sense, but once when I was with my college boyfriend, we had a very heated rivalry experience. We went to his cottage and we spent 2 weeks basically just together. We were with his family a little bit, my family a little bit, but like all the time us together. And I remember that was the first moment coming out of that where I started feeling like I didn't really know how to talk to people the same way because I had felt so comfortable with someone that then the other relationships that I had had that I thought were really comfortable became less comfortable. It was really destabilizing.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think, we navigate all different kinds of comfort levels with people. And I think that can never change because we'll always be in different circumstances, but it makes the moments when you do sort of get to take that deep breath and relax really that much more rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been, I don't know if struggling is the right word, but kind of, rolling this thought around probably for like the
Yeah.
last decade of, I love my straight friends, right? I
Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely adore them and
Right.
feel incredibly close to them and have people with whom I share vast amounts of information. But it isn't the same as being
Right.
able to truly spill
Right.
with your gay friends, right? Like there's a level of understanding that doesn't, I think, just can't translate.
Hmm. Yeah. My friend Brandon, he's like, you've got your girls' gays and you've got your gays' gays, which are gays that primarily hang out with women and gays that
Right.
primarily hang out with gay men. And I'm not sure if that's a him original or if he got it from TikTok because I'm not on TikTok, but he does really talk about that difference a fair amount. And yeah, I think it gets back to this question of homogenization and whether or not it's always okay because right, like I can kiki with my girls, but we're not going to share the same sex stories with the same level of understanding and the same
Right.
level like, "Oh my god, I've been there."
Right.
Like again, at brunch yesterday, we were talking my friend was talking about a hookup that he had had that had gone in a way that he didn't expect and he was so embarrassed. He didn't really want to talk about it. And then I was like, wait, this has happened to me too. And it was crazy. And we got to bond about that in a way that I'm going to guess none of my girlfriends have experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. No, uh, I legit just told you something right before the
Yeah.
show that I felt like I couldn't share with anybody else. And I was like, this thing happened. I have to tell you. I'm never saying it out loud on the show, but
Hmm.
like, I needed a gay buddy that I could just be like, bro, let me tell you the
Right.
crazy shit that just happened.
And I was like, that's happened to me too.
Right. Right. It's just like, there is a level of understanding that as much as you love you know girls or straight dudes who get it, there's nothing like being able to talk to another gay man about an experience that you had that is amazing or weird
Right.
or terrifying or whatever. um
Which I
I
think then
keep
I would ask you, like, oh,
yeah,
mhm.
go
Well,
ahead.
just like when does that, because we also live in a world where because of our algorithms, we are only exposed to our similar. And so have you found that there's a time when you're like, ooh, well, it might be different since you moved, but when you're like, oh, I do need a different perspective. I do need more points of view to sort of create this well-rounded worldview.
For sure, for sure. Like I often, I mean, I've had experiences where, going to a bear event, for example,
Hmm.
right? And a couple of times, like it's going to a bear event with a group of guys, and it's a full like week or week and a half long trip, and
Yeah.
and by the end of it, I kind of going into it and being at the event, it's incredibly liberating and comfortable being there, surrounded by people
Yeah.
like me. And by the end of it, I'm always sort of at a point where I'm like, and now I need some straight people, you know, like
Sure.
that,
Sure.
like that felt great. And that isn't everyday ordinary reality. I mean, I suppose it could be for some people. You could build your life so that you had that experience every day. But
Yeah.
for me, I love having a diverse set of friends and diverse points of view. And one of the things I loved about working at big companies was being able to travel internationally and like work on a
Oh,
team or a project where it's like, yeah, I've got to go to New Delhi and meet
right.
people who are very much not like me and collaborate with them and hear different points of view. And then I'm going to Dublin and doing the same thing, and this is my team. So
Right.
yeah, I'm split personality, maybe. Like, I thrive on the diversity and the talking to radically different points of view, and then
Hmm.
also like the extreme comfort that comes from being able to talk to other gay guys about experiences that kind of only we could have.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's really hard for people who don't feel that with other gay guys.
Yeah.
I think I've always been a person who's really connected to gay history, and it's sort of been an inexplicable link for me. But I know so many people who feel worse when they get in a group of gay people, and it's just so tricky because it can either be really eye-opening and liberating or not. My guess for not this week's podcast, but the next podcast, there's a story that he says on the show about the first time he went to a puppy event, like a pup event,
Yeah. Yeah.
where for the listeners, where you have a pup mask, he likens it to drag. He's like, a drag queen is a woman impersonator, and I am a dog impersonator. I don't think I'm a dog. It's just liberating.
Right.
And as he was telling me the story of his first time at one of these events, like he started crying a little bit. I started crying a little bit because there was this sense of acceptance and freedom and like beauty, honestly, that was really so inspiring to hear. And we ended the conversation, and I thought, wow, really every gay person should listen to this because it really just exposes how much we judge each other, but we all want acceptance. And yet, in this realm of the kink community, acceptance is so freely given in a way that it is not in sort of writ large gay culture.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. I mean, I had an experience that stands out in my head.
Hmm.
These two guys that I knew in Seattle, really, really sweet men, invited me to a party out at their little cabin on Hood Canal,
Yeah.
and I was super excited to go. And I showed up, and I don't know how to describe it, Aiden. Yeah, I mean, I was like the only bear in a room full of
Okay.
kinks, right?
That is a
And
memoir.
I mean, honestly, right? Like, there's the title for my memoir.
Yep.
And I, yeah, it was just the weirdest vibe, right? Because
Hmm.
my friends who had invited me, I adore them. They're incredibly kind guys. I'm sure their friends are really lovely people, but there was just sort of this weird, uh, like, you seem like a nice person, but we're probably never going to sleep with you, like,
Sure.
uh,
Sure.
it was definitely a moment of feeling isolated in a place where I
Hmm.
had been hoping to feel community.
Right.
You know,
Was it like, what was the sexual like energy
I
of
mean,
the space? Was
yeah,
it
that was
implied? Was it intended? Was it
no, it was intended, right? Like, I think it
okay?
was very
Right.
much like, hey, we're all going to be fucking at some point, and then
Right.
I think kind of I came into the room and people were like, well, I'm not gonna.
Right.
Who's gonna? There were also, I will admit, in this particular situation, there were cookies. Uh,
Got it.
yeah, and the guy that had made the cookies, when giving me a cookie, it gave me two because he thought I was
Oh.
taking two to give to other people. And in retrospect, what I learned was I was only supposed to eat half of one of the cookies, and
No.
I ate both.
Oh no. If you give a bear a cookie,
I mean, honestly, if you give a bear two cookies,
two
right?
cookies.
I
Oh
literally
no.
ended up
Yeah.
that evening having one of the most profound, like psychedelically induced journeys of my
Mm-hmm.
spiritual life. It was very much not a like gay sexual community
Right.
evening. It was you're gonna go lay in the bed of your truck and look at the
Mm-hmm.
stars and talk to the
Oh,
trees for the rest of the night.
that sounds so much nicer.
Honestly, it was pretty great. Um, yeah,
And
it
also,
was
I will just add that in my hearing of that story, what you felt in that moment is much more a negative reflection on the planning of the person
right.
than their like response to you,
Yeah,
you know. But
yeah.
I
I
also think, oh, mhm.
no, it's not like I don't hold any judgment, right? Like um, I get it. I didn't know what I was walking into. Like they were so
Right.
insistent that I come to this party, and in retrospect, I probably would have been like, okay, maybe this isn't going to be my jam. Maybe this isn't going to be
Hmm.
the vibe. Um, but it was all done out of love.
Right. I also think it brings up an interesting point of how sex factors into gay friendships too, you know,
Absolutely. Because
and
I mean,
how, mhm.
newsflash, it does.
Of course it does. And it's a really interesting thing that we get to and have to navigate. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes blurring that line is wonderful. And
Yeah.
sometimes, I've had moments where friends invite me over and I think, okay, do I preface this by saying I don't want to sleep with them? Am I assuming that they want to sleep with me? Do I actually want to sleep with them? Am I just nervous? Like that
Right.
whole Rolodex of thoughts that,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right. And if I'm open to that possibility, do I get ready? And
right. What do I do if we're just getting drinks and coffee? How do
right,
I,
right, right. Are we eating burritos? Because then we're definitely not.
and that again is all the gay navigation. It's so funny when I was filming the Fire Island movie, I was with Matt Rogers and he was talking about the other two, which I don't know if you've seen that show on
Oh God, I
HBO.
love it. Yeah.
So good. But there's a scene where they're talking about there's two people on a date and they're talking about pizza. And they're talking about who is going to eat the pizza. And it is this coded who's going to bottom
Right.
mentality.
Right.
And Matt Rogers was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know how much I liked that scene." Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, Joel Kim Booster, who wrote Fire Island, popped out and said, "Just so you know, I wrote that scene." But I was like, it's
Right.
such a good explanation of like how we navigate those things
For
and
for real.
the meta conversation of it, like how people feel about that conversation.
Yeah. No, you know, I, I think at some point here we were going to kind of transition into talking about apps and the way that they kind of
Mm-hmm.
impact community and friendship and all of those things and perceptions of body and body image.
Right.
Um, but it is interesting that like uh, I'm having the experience currently, kind of being here in Fort Wayne and cruising and talking to guys on the apps, and in a lot of ways, many times talking to guys who sort of are on the DL or just trying to figure things out and kind of don't know everything, and like the number of times I've had to say like, well, no, I'm not actually looking for right now,
Right.
because
Right. No.
I need some time to get
Mm-hmm.
ready. And
And just to get to
and the
know
guys were like,
someone.
"What's that?"
No, I was adding, but it wasn't conducive to what you were saying. So you
Oh,
keep
yeah, no.
going.
Just the needing to explain that, right? And
Yeah.
like the calculus that goes into that. Like, yes,
Yeah.
you're hot. I'd really love to hook up with you, but it isn't going to be in 15 minutes because I haven't been eating my bottom diet all day today. And
Bottoming is a sport.
bottoming is a
Bottoming is a
sport,
sport.
right? That you must train for.
Mm-hmm.
And I need my 2 trips to the shower if we're gonna do this. So I need a little more time.
Right. Hold on really quickly in the chat. this actually I think is great. We have a mic question, and I'm wondering because I can hear you, Lawrence, perfectly, but someone in
Yeah.
the chat says that you might be quiet, but I obviously don't know the levels, so I actually feel like chat. Is there a volume imbalance between me and Lawrence?
Oh,
And then
interesting.
we'll figure it out. Um, yeah, because I
I
think I have a
I have
new mic.
I have had a lot of trouble with this mic. Um, I suppose
No.
I could take it off of monitor, but when I turn up the gain, it sounds way too loud to me.
Mm-hmm. Here's the
I don't
secret:
know.
you have to listen with headphones. Okay, Deb says no. Karen says headphones. I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, yeah, no, I can hear
Slight
you.
clarity difference. Oh, yes, Lawrence is quiet. No. Oh my God, the chat has disagreements.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna turn up the gain, but like looking at my board, it looks like I'm in the red when I'm talking. So,
Hmm.
uh, honestly, I'm just ready. Like this whole Maono system, I was super excited about it.
Uh-huh.
I may just trade it in for
Okay.
the. You've got an Audio Technica. Other people have got Shure. Yeah. I'm gonna look at
Ooh.
alternatives.
Okay, hold on. What I think I figured out. I returned my Audio Technicas because I realized that they were the wrong kind of mic.
Oh shit. Okay, what'd you
I
get?
know. Well, so I went back to my Samsons for the podcast, and then when I worked at this nonprofit, we got a little roadie. But I think this is like specifically a podcasting mic that I got to keep when I was laid off.
Yeah. No, it's okay. The roadies I've heard really good things about as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, what I think might help is, and we can troubleshoot this later, but remind me, in the settings, it automatically adjusts the volume.
Yep.
And if we turn that off, we could probably level it out
Yeah.
a little bit.
Actually, I thought I turned that on recently to try to make things better, but anyway, yeah, we can do
Who
that.
knows?
I turned up the
I just
gain,
wanted to
so
give the chat a little bit of, background technical drama.
yes, a little bit of love.
I know, Dana, I do look like I'm floating in space. We're in my office today.
Yeah,
I'm giving you Project Hail Mary.
it's total Project Hail Mary. Yeah, you should be, out there on a spacewalk capturing space dust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I love
Yeah.
that whole movie. We could keep going. Um,
And it was beautiful. And they did it all pretty much with practical effects, which I thought
I
was a
love that.
great choice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that Rocky was a puppet. That was an incredible
Mm-hmm.
choice, and it really
Mm-hmm.
shows. Like the chemistry between the two of them is real. You know?
Yeah, it really is. A great meditation on how friendships can happen between two very different, not even people.
Right, right. Um, so speaking of friendships, getting back to the overall topic, um, so we broached the subject of apps. I feel like there's some follow through there
Mm-hmm.
that we need to do. How do you think about um, this idea that apps were supposed to democratize gay connection, that like you're not constrained by geography or, your specific kink or whatever,
Yeah.
but maybe the experience of Grinder and Scruff and Sniffies and all the apps is that it's dissolving community rather than actually creating it or scaling it up.
Oh, where do we even start?
I mean, honestly,
I think, I mean, money is the root of all of these problems. I think we start there. Facebook was started with good
say more.
intentions. Instagram was started with good intentions. They slapped filters on Instagram because they thought it would be a faster way to make your photos look pretty. Little did they know that 10 years later, people will be getting plastic surgery to look like the filters that they have invented. Like
Right.
AI was started with maybe good intentions. Now it is a runaway machine. And because we are all in the pursuit of do this better, faster, quicker, never stop in the name of progress. And I think sometimes we need to regress. But, you have Grinder completely changed the game. I know Andrew thinks that the game changed and Grinder came with it, but it totally affected how we exist, and Sniffies is changing how we exist, and Instagram has changed how we exist. I hope that we move in cycles. I hope that we already are fed up. Grinder, oddly enough, seems like it's becoming this self-fulfilling prophecy where they just keep making things that nobody wants and people are
Right.
leaving the apps because of it. And yet that is where we go when we're like, okay, I guess I'm bored and lonely and alone and horny. So I guess, maybe I'll re-download it. Maybe I won't. That's a ramble. It's hard because, again, I've met incredible people through the
Same.
apps. I met Casey on Hinge. We met through Substack. Like, I've met partners. I've met best friends through Grinder.
Right. Right. My ex-boyfriend, we met entirely because of Scruff, right? Like probably
Yeah.
would not have met except for that.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting to me the shift, and how apps have very discernible life cycles as users.
Right.
Like I think about a year ago and maybe a little more, like a year and a half ago, how few people were using Sniffies and how
Mm-hmm.
now it is absolutely ubiquitous
Right.
and in a lot of ways has um, I think is killing some of the older apps and some of
Yeah.
them. Scruff has just introduced a map feature, right?
Right.
So it's kind of remaking the game. Um, I wonder, I mean, plenty of people have kind of talked about like the immediacy of like, oh, dick on demand, like
Mm-hmm.
use the apps. But what do you think about kind of maybe more on your idea of it allows you to find people that maybe you wouldn't have met otherwise, right? That there are
Yeah.
connections that can be formed that wouldn't happen except for in the app environment.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I found really fascinating about Sniffies that I think I've said on here before, but bears repeating, is that the map aspect actually increases your sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
There is something to seeing dots that you can actively place that builds a sense of responsibility to community that does not exist when it's the grinder grid.
Right.
And I bumped into the pretty much like the whole team of Sniffies last summer, and the CEO was like, my goal is to get people from chat to hook up as quickly as possible.
Right.
And I think that is a great goal. He believes that the act of hooking up with someone, regardless of what actually happens, is like a sacred connection between people, sacred or not. Maybe he probably didn't use that word. Don't quote me.
Right.
But that energy that is exchanged is important. That energy is lovely. It can be complex, of course. And he wants to facilitate that experience. That being said, he's got a team. He needs to make money. We all need to make money. I'm trying to get sponsors for the podcast. I'm trying to make money on Substack. Or,
Right.
it's the game that we all have to play. So on one hand, I can't fault them. But also when you look at Grinder, the money aspect is killing the product.
Oh, for sure.
And
I mean, I
yet,
recently
yeah.
re-downloaded Grinder and was like, oh my God, no, I'm not paying you whatever, like $49 a month or whatever insane
Right.
price they're currently charging. Like, fuck that.
And they just keep
Absolutely not.
taking away features
Right.
so you want to, you
Right.
know? And yet it is where you can make really good connections. It can validate you well. It can become really toxic. I think leading into the body image issue, when
Yeah.
your entire personality is reduced onto a, half inch, if that, picture, it really does something to you. And I also can't separate my own privilege from this conversation. I was talking to Hitesh Tolani, who runs Gays of National Parks, who was at Harvard for a while, and he says the five things that people look for on the apps are if they are white, tall, muscular, masculine, and athletic, which just means if they think you're a top.
Right.
And that is the gay currency of Grinder.
Yeah.
And it totally goes into the real world, and it affects how we interact with people in real life on all sides. And there's no responsibility from the tech companies to do anything good about it. I know that is not at all the answer to the question you asked, but that
No,
is where I went.
but it's a real answer. And I'm in kind of the weird position of, I'm like the prototypical bear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is, in a room full of kind of, the men that you just described, right?
Right.
Tall, athletic, lean, six pack. I am not the currency, right? Like, but in
Mm-hmm.
a room full of bears, I'm a fucking demigod,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
I have had the weird experience of being on both sides of that equation, of being in the room full of guys that I'm like, oh my God, all these guys are super hot, and none of
Right.
them are remotely interested in me because I'm 5'10", I'm 270, I'm muscly, but it's all under a nice little padding of fluff. So,
Right.
but in a room full of bears, I have the really disconcerting experience of suddenly being like the guy that nobody can keep their hands off of. And,
Right.
you know, and there's whiplash there. There's also, an amazing feeling of like, oh my God, my people. If only I was attracted to bears.
It's a complicated thing, and there's no winning, you
Yeah.
know? And in the podcast episode I did with Andrew, it's funny that in our chat we had talked about how body image, and you used the term before the show, body fascism, where somebody commented on the video, was like, this is a great conversation, but why are you wearing such tight shirts? Isn't that just another form of body fascism? When will it ever end? And it was interesting because on one hand, I use the way I look to promote the messages that I want to get out, which I think are important messages to communicate.
Yeah.
And that is the game that we live in. My body has changed a lot in the past year. My look has changed a lot in the past year because I've gotten older. The attention I have gotten on the internet has changed completely.
Yeah.
And yet I'm like, well, I can't win. Not that I'm like oppressed or anything, but it just is a nuanced conversation of, I've always been told that, like, if you have privilege, use it to platform other voices that don't and get the messages out there. So a lot of what I try to do is bring the messages from people who are not fit white gays to the white gays who listen to me because they think I'm attractive.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting. You said, part of what you were just saying kind of triggered a thought for me, which is, I've noticed, so this year is the year that I recently turned 56.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a massive decrease in the number of, woofs and whatever,
Yeah,
that I get on the apps. And I think it's because of settings, right? Because people are doing
sure.
searches and they're like, oh, I want somebody from 35 to 55.
Huh.
And so suddenly, like, I think I've aged out of a major bracket,
Bracket.
Like 55 is acceptable.
Whoa.
56 is almost 60, and that's an old man.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Uh, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Because I, I, I had a moment, like it crossed my mind where I was like, oh, I'm just going to go in and change my birthday. And I was like, then you're lying. Then you're doing
Right.
on the apps the thing that you hate when people do, you know?
Right.
And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay.
And again, it goes back to the issue being that the platform and
Yeah.
the sort of drop downization of our culture, where if somebody meets you out at the bar and they're interested in you, they're not going to be like, hold on, are you 55 or are you 56?
No, exactly. Right.
And going all the way back to community, the app culture is killing our community because our community spaces are going away. And when we are in community with people, we aren't practiced at going up and talking to them. So then it just doesn't work out at all.
Right.
And they're like, well, I can't talk to people in person. I guess I got to go back on the apps. And then we get frustrated with the apps. And we're like, well, why can't I connect with people in person? We're like living in such a fun time.
Right. Yeah. Well, you talked about body fascism, and I wanted to drill down on that because I think here's a thought that I had. actually, I saw somebody on Instagram said this, and it like distilled things that I'd been thinking more eloquently than I could have done it, which is, and it sounds a little off topic, but I swear it's connected. The whole looks maxing thing, right? The whole, clavicular and, hitting your cheekbones
We're
with a
cycling
hammer.
back. Yep.
Like, it's a little bit weird because those men are ostensibly straight men, and they are doing performative male optimization ostensibly for women, right?
Right.
But they don't like women. Like, they hate women. They want to oppress women. And so, like, with gay men, because I kind of feel like we do everything first, right?
Sure.
Like us, black women, and, and drag queens, like that's where culture comes from. But with gay men, it makes sense, right? Like, we can bitch about body fascism and body optimization and looksism and all of that, but it's because we're peacocking for somebody that we want to have sex with, right?
Right.
And the looks maxing guys, like, I don't get it. Like, who are they peacocking for? Because it's not women. They don't like women. Is it other men? And isn't that inherently gay?
So, yeah, I haven't watched the Manosphere documentary that came out last week because I don't know if I'm ready to. But I did see like a response article about it. That was essentially they're just doing this for the other men in their sphere.
Right.
Period. They're not doing it for women. It's sort of this asexuality. Again, like I think we talked about this last week, where Clavicular in an interview said that he would rather lose his dick than his hair because he would look ugly without his hair. And if he lost his dick, nobody would know. Which I think is like the perfect sad reality that a lot of young men at this moment in time are living in. Sex does not feel, especially sex with a woman or sex with another person, does not feel of a priority. It's all about power and status and class,
which is crazy to me because, as a gay man who kind of went through, trials and tribulations coming out and coming to terms with, my body and my sexuality, I can't imagine a life in which you're not enjoying the exploration of sex with another human being. That just seems so alien to me.
Also for the chat, it's called Louis Theroux Inside the Manosphere on Netflix.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I can't believe we're at the top of the hour. I
know.
Literally talk about anything. For not having much of a plan coming in today, we managed to hack something together. This was a great conversation.
Yeah. I'm also like, chat, like what topics do you think we should cover in the future? I've always found that asking people for things that they think we should talk about is always so helpful because it makes it feel like there's a point. Not that there's not a point.
Let us know. So next week we were going to have Fusen Aidan on. She got surprised with a trip home by her fiance, her girlfriend. So she's going to be in Turkey instead of hanging with us.
Bye.
Yeah, have fun. Bye.
Ooh,
after that, though, we've got Carl Dunn the week after that. Then we've got Mr. Troy Ford coming up. So we've got some author talk coming up, which is great. But yeah, let us know. Shar says intimacy. Oh boy, there's the topic.
Love it.
Yes. All right. We will plan a show on intimacy for next week.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah. I can talk about that for forever.
Aidan, where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at Gay Buffet on Substack. You can find me at Aidan Wharton, AIDAN on Instagram. And my podcast is called Getting Close. Tomorrow's episode is with my husband about his, we just celebrated 6 months of him not drinking and sort of how to break those unhealthy patterns that might be ruling your life.
Amazing.
Lawrence, where can the people find you?
Well, here at the Daily Whatever Show and also at lwinner.substack.com. And I occasionally put things up on Blue Amp Media, which is blueamp.co. Yeah.
Yes.
More kitty face.
And where can we find the cats?
The cats are here on my desk at all times of the day, often helping me type or preventing me from typing.
Mm-hmm.
But awesome show, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. It's always so much fun to talk to you on Mondays. We will put together a show for next week around intimacy and connection. I think that's a great topic to explore. And thanks for being here, everybody.
All right, chat. Bye.
Love you, mean it. Bye. Oh, now I need to find the button. Where's the button?